Hello there. My name is Siantre. Welcome back to this channel of spirituality, philosophy, and magic. And today we're here to discuss the meaning of life stuff. We live in very potent times. We look around and the situation is rather intense. A vast understatement, which I think most of us can agree upon. And the events over the past several years have catalyzed the awakening of many people. It has facilitated an awareness that many of the things which we as a collective were told, many of the assumptions that were held, are indeed false. Thus, this great quest for knowledge and truth has commenced. And so, how is it that we are able to discern fact from fiction, truth from lies, reality from illusion? And I am here to awaken within all of us the understanding, the comprehension that this knowledge is rooted in direct experience. You see, 3D is not the primary reality. It's something of a crystallization of mind, of imagination. The higher realms, the realms of spirit, are in fact primary. In order for anything to manifest in 3D, it must first pass through the higher dimensions and come down before it is crystallized here. Whether it's a species, whether it is a person incarnating, whether it's the manifestation of an idea, calling something in, and whether it's an event. Everything happens in the higher dimensions first. And so from a 3D perspective, one could perceive it or conceive of it as events happening up there are happening in the future. And so much of the information and the situation, as many people have been engaging with it, it's been something of a reactive process. Something happens, and then they seek to understand what happened. And they're looking through, searching through information. How can I figure this out? Looking at information, much of which has been provided with ill intent by the perpetrators of those negative events. It's time to get ahead of the game. If you're a seeker of truth, and you really want to know what's happening, and that can be a tall order. It's certainly not something that is for the faint of heart. But if you truly want to see, gaze into the realm of spirit. Traverse the realm of spirit and see the truth for yourself. So much of this information that's floating around, it's opinions, perspectives, it's propaganda or lies or people putting together pieces of a jigsaw puzzle, hoping to see this big picture, working from the bottom up. Get ahead of the game. Perceive from the top down. Perceive the totality. Then the puzzle pieces make sense. The spirit realm is primary. We are not three-dimensional beings. The scientists lied. Consciousness does not emerge from matter. It's a ridiculous notion for anyone who has their third eye open, for anyone who has memories of past lives, for anyone that's traveled the spirit world and seen colors more vivid than anything here that exists in 3D. Met beings that transcend time and space. You know, direct experience. The spirit world is where things happen first. Whenever there's some event happening on the planet, it's an echo. It's a crystallization, it's a manifestation, it's an image, a projection of that which is really taking place. Go to the source of truth. You are a spiritual being that has come here, and now you have a body, this particular body. You've had others before. Remember who you are. Certainly, this requires a tremendous amount of courage, intelligence, clarity, self-discipline. In the same way that seeking to sail a boat across the ocean would, to explore a new land, like being dropped in a jungle and having to figure out how to live. Spirit world can be like that sometimes. But you're not a small and insignificant being. Scientists lied about that too. Trying to convince people that they're like specks of dust on a rock, which is hurtling around this sun, which is hurtling around another star. And it's just speck, trying to minimize the truth, which is that you are a spiritual being, filled with power and agency, because consciousness shapes reality. Remember who you are. Now, the spirit world, too, is not without its illusions, not without beings that attempt to deceive, particularly depending on the dimension which one is traveling in. Great clarity, great discernment is needed. Cultivate that. Discernment is among the greatest powers which you can cultivate, hone, and forge within yourself. Clarity. 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 You are not limited to your physical body. Even your thoughts, which so many people think are isolated within their heads, are not. They're broadcast as cymatic waves. When your third eye is open, you will see them in yourself and in others. You can sense these waves, interpret them. You can feel the spirits moving, seeing events as things happen in the higher realms in the spirit world. And you can watch events be blocked and see events crystallizing into 3D. This is deep knowledge. This is that real knowledge, which so many people kept hidden in things like mystery schools and secret orders. Consciousness shapes reality, and we are powerful. So much of the mouse traps that have been set up are relying on people's addiction to convenience, keeping them distracted so that they don't focus on being able to feel their own bodies. And therefore, when something goes wrong, they go to a doctor to get an assessment. Why? You can feel everything which takes place within your body, perceive everything which takes place within your mind, reclaim your agency so that you can be free. It is a great responsibility. It requires discipline, training, consistency, willpower, intention, discernment, wisdom. That is something that is worth cultivating. Because the longer that people keep seeking so many of these answers outside of themselves on websites created by the very perpetrators of the things which they wish to solve or avert, the longer that they'll attempt to play those games. You are a free and sovereign being. And the law of this universe is heavenly law. And that's key. See, heavenly law, it's something that we all intrinsically know. Things like truth. You see, when someone lies, we all instinctively know that's a bad thing. When someone steals, when someone hurts the innocent, we instinctively know that was wrong. That's the intrinsic knowing of heavenly law that lives within us. If you live in alignment with that, the universe itself supports you. The path of knowledge can seem frightening at times. But so much of that fear is rooted in this feeling of like looking at all these things that happen in the world and feeling like it's a giant mountain, much bigger than you. And that is not true. It's not. We are spiritual beings, and heavenly law is real. And each and every moment of each and every day, we draw closer to these truths, to our innate being, to the realization of our nature. And this is power. Upon the oracle of Delphi, it is written, "Know thyself and thou shalt know the universe and God." So why seek for this in biased texts? Not to say that there's nothing to be learned from studying. I study a lot. But always with the eye of truth do I gaze upon it, knowing the intrinsic nature of my being. When you're a child, you know this, you feel this, the inherent freedom and creativity, beauty and sacredness of your nature. There's a philosopher that once said, "If your choices are beautiful, so too will you be." Walk in alignment with the light of truth, with the light of heavenly law. Because we're all in this together. The darkness does not have the type of power that it seeks to convey that it does. In truth, it hangs by a thread. Sit in a dark room and then turn on the light and see for yourself. Do not let the fear control your actions. Have the courage to perceive the truth. Sure, we can as these awarenesses bloom within us. We sometimes see terrifying things, horrific things, and beautiful things, wondrous things. The truth will set us free. And courage is what often allows the beauty of wisdom to bloom. In the ancient Chinese text, The Art of War, written by Sun Tzu, it is said, "All war is deception." Think about that for a moment. All war is deception. Well then, that means that the solution to war is truth. So don't fall for the trap of convenience, of living a life where you're always externalizing your power in this sense where you need a doctor to tell you whether or not you're sick, convincing you, giving people chemicals, literal poisons, producing side effect after side effect after side effect when none of that is necessary. The power lives within you to heal. The body's natural state is health, and everything which we need to heal already grows upon this world. So if you're looking at the events that have been unfolding, feeling overwhelmed, scared, frustrated, wondering why it's happening, what should you do? See the spirit world. Know thyself, because you came here for a reason. You are not powerless. You are not helpless. You are not a small and insignificant being. Power lives within you because this whole 3D world, the largest mountain that you can see, the spirit is far greater. Vastly, vastly, vastly greater. You know, in quantum physics, there's this concept of what they call a superpositioned wave. They look at particles. You see something like a point in a particular place, in a particular time, in a particular form. And it operates in particular ways, sort of bound, sort of almost finite in its appearance. It has a time when it appears and a time when it disappears, yet ever always is it the wave, present everywhere. You see, the quantum wave, it then becomes a particle and returns to a wave, yet it's always the wave. Be the wave. In truth, you already are. Simply realize this truth, perceive it, experience it. Remember that you're everywhere. You're not limited to your body, to a particular time, to a particular place. Within you is the awareness and the memories and the skills of countless lifetimes which you have lived. You can access these. Your spirit, every night while you sleep, traverses from your body and journeys throughout the cosmos. You call it dreams and think that it's something unreal. But it's the other way around. When your third eye is open and you traverse the spirit world, you can see, oh, there's that person's bubble. They think they're dreaming. They think that's just happening in their head. It's like a little bubble. And they think no one else can see that. But we can. We can. We interact with each other far more than people think in our dreams. And you were dreaming before you took your first breath in that body. Before you were conceived in your mother's womb, you traversed these same waters. Remember the truth. So you really want to know what's going on? You really want the answers to your questions? Open your eye and fly.